Hi there, I'm Sheila Sullivan, and this is a neck, shoulders, back, and heart chair yoga class. Welcome. Invite you to find a comfortable seat. Um, Sitting, hopefully your chair is one where you can have about a 45-degree angle from your upper thigh to your lower leg. If your feet are having a hard time finding the floor, you might use yoga blocks underneath your feet to bring the floor up a little bit higher. You can play around with that a little bit, or pillows sometimes can help. You'll see that I have a walking boot on my left foot. I had foot surgery, so don't be dismayed by my big walking boot. Another reason why chair yoga comes in so handy. So finding your comfortable seat, you might like to scoot to the edge of your seat. I find that this helps me engage my core and have a tall, straight spine like we would if we were sitting for centering on a bolster or pillow on the floor. If that is uncomfortable for you to sit up that way, you could always slide back in your chair and lean back against the back of the chair, whatever feels best in your body. Wherever you are, you might just tap your feet on the floor from front to back, heel to toe, and side to side, inside outside, really just feeling your whole foot on the floor. Maybe even rolling the shoulders up to the ears and then allowing the shoulders to settle back on the body, finding your comfortable seated pose for centering here. Feeling how the body responds to the inhale. You might feel the expansion of the inhale and the settling on the exhale. You could have your eyes open or maybe down at the floor, even closed if that feels comfortable to you. And as you just tune into your breath here, to the rise and fall of your breath, I'll invite you to listen to the words of this poem by Dana Faulds, her beautiful book of yogic poetry called Go In and In. This poem is called The Soul of Yoga. So again, just watching the rise and fall of your breath. What is the soul of yoga? Follow your heart into the center of the pose and find in the midst of detail and precision, in breath, alignment, balance, bliss, fear, and sadness. At the very core of all of this is love. Touch upon your truest nature even once, and the experience of what you really are sears the psyche like the surface of the sun. The soul of yoga, the gift within the pose, is the moment of communion, resting in pure essence, the awakening as if from sleep to the face of unmistakable divinity, the ineffable wonder and living reality of spirit. Oh, yes, the soul of yoga is love. Just noticing any feelings or emotions that that poem may have stirred in you. Maybe bringing a hand to your heart and touching in to that true nature, your deepest wisdom, and remembering this throughout our practice, that this coming back to your own wisdom, to your deep heart, this practice of pausing and remembering. And then letting your hands come back to your legs. Let's just begin by opening the muscles around the neck. And let's move slowly here. The invitation is always to move at your own pace. If anything that I guide does not land well in your body or feel like a good choice, you're your best teacher. So feel free to adapt and modify as suits your whatever you have going on. So inhaling here at center, nice big full inhale, filling the back body. Exhale, let's look over your right shoulder. Inhale, we'll bring our chin back to center. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Moving at your own pace here. The inhale brings your head towards center, neutral position, and the exhale brings you to looking over one shoulder or the other. Notice right away in this movement that we're all probably pretty used to. If you have a tendency to push once you get to the edge of the stretch, feeling like, oh, that's what I need to do in order to get the most out of the stretch. Well, I invite you to back that off a hair and just notice there was hardly a change maybe in the amount of movement, but is there more ease here? That's what we're going for. Noticing when we're pushing or striving, backing off a hair, and then re-entering the pose for more of a position of ease and spaciousness. Next time that your head's at center, maybe inviting your chin down towards your chest on the exhale. And then inhale, lifting the chin. Really thinking of this as lifting the chin and stretching the front of the neck rather than letting your head roll all the way back. Exhale, chin towards chest. Inhale, lifting the gaze, lifting the chin. Exhale, chin towards chest. We'll come back to this stretch, but we'll first add a little bit of a chin roll here. So coming back to neutral, we'll exhale, bringing the chin towards chest, and then rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then exhale brings the chin back towards the chest. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Again, moving at your own pace here. Make this movement organic. You might begin to want to add a little more motion in the shoulders, rolling out. When my left ear is towards my left shoulder, I'm rolling out my right shoulder here. You might try that in your body, see how that feels. If you feel any twinging or pain, that's a sign that you're going a little too far. So backing off again, finding that more easeful, spacious position. Next time your left ear is at your left shoulder, notice if you're really pushing there. Can you back off the stretch a hair? And then extending the right fingertips towards the floor. Let's begin by just making some very small circles with that right arm. This can feel very intense and nervy in some people's body if that's the case. Decrease the angle of the stretch in your neck, or maybe just make the circling motion very small. It can help to bend the elbow here so you don't have as much weight in the arm. If you're finding this feels okay in your body, you might come to that bent elbow position and begin to make some big or circling motions. So we're really combining a lot here. We've got a stretch to the right side of the neck. We're bringing movement into the shoulder, all of the muscles around the shoulder girdle. We're doing some work with the arm. If you're extending the arm here at all, you might find that you're feeling some stretch in the forearms, the bicep area. So really just exploring here, full range of motion. And then coming back to center, taking a breath here at center before dropping the chin towards the chest, inviting the right ear towards the right shoulder. Breathing here, just noticing how this is feeling on this side. If you've maybe gone a little too far, you can back that stretch off, and then extending the left fingertips towards the floor. Starting with some mini circling here. Notice any difference from side to side. Could be really different on this side depending upon what you have going on in your neck and your shoulders. This can be a very organic movement. If you're familiar with these stretches, feel free to move into any organic movement that feels just right in your body. If it feels okay to do some of these circling motions, you might bend the elbow and the left arm here and begin circling into the shoulder. Imagine what's happening in that shoulder blade on your back. Can you picture your shoulder blade flossing around, like your whole shoulder blade, like a chicken wing, is moving around this whole part of your upper back, maybe getting into areas that haven't felt a stretch in a long time. Wonderful. And when you're ready, bringing that movement to a close, coming back to center, and let's just bring some circling into both shoulders here. Really let the movement extend into the upper back, maybe even changing the directions of your circles. You could let the arms get involved here. Bringing the forearms together, elbows come towards each other. They don't have to touch, forearms towards each other, palms towards each other. We'll inhale here. Exhale, hands separate. Shoulder blades come together on the back as your hands move towards the back side of the body. Gaze lift, chin lifts. Exhale as the forearms, elbows come together. Let your upper back roll here. Let your whole upper back roll. Maybe even your hands come to gently cup the top of your head, the back of your head. All the air is released on this exhale. And then slowly lifting and opening on the inhale, letting your heart emerge here, gazing towards the sky, shoulder blades together. Exhale, rolling everything forward. So this is a modified cat and cow pose that we would often do on the floor. Inhale to open, shoulder blades together. Exhale, rounding the spine. Maybe the hands find the back of the head like you're holding a tiny baby, that gently. What does it feel like to exhale all the air here? One more time. Inhale to open. Receiving in your heart. What could you use in your heart right now? And exhale, curling in, honoring your own wisdom here. And then returning back to center. Just pausing here, feeling the integration of this seated cat-cow pose. Feeling any sensations in your upper back, your arms, your neck, your shoulders. And we'll move now into some side bending series. So letting your hands, fingertips reach towards the floor. Maybe even your right hand comes to the seat of the chair or to the arm if you're in a folding chair, maybe to the arm of the chair, the leg of the chair, where depending upon your arm length. So right hand touching the chair, left fingertips extended to the floor. Core is engaged here. We want to be careful when we're sitting in the chair that we're not jutting our ribs out. So can you integrate your ribs? Belly button pulls towards the spine here a tiny bit so that core is engaged. Inhale, that left arm lifts. Exhale, side bend to the right. Checking in with your left hip. Can you make sure that left hip is making contact with the chair? Inhale for length and expansion. Exhale into the side bend. One more time. Inhale for length and expansion. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, the right arm will lift to meet the left here. Maybe your gaze lifts. You can roll out the wrists. Give the fingers a good stretch. Exhale, left hand comes to the chair here. Inhale for length. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale for length. Exhale, side bend to the left. Make sure that right hip is really making good contact with the chair. Should feel nice opening here all along the right side body, right hip to the muscles between the ribs, the armpit, right out through the right arm. One more time. Inhale for length. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, left arm lifts. This time as we exhale the right arm, we're going to look up at our left hand. Just notice, how would it feel to invite my left arm a little farther back behind me? If that does not feel good in your body, you can bring it to a place that feels good. You don't even need to have your arm lifted very high. This might be all you get in this shoulder, right? Depending upon what you have going on. So wherever you are, looking at those left fingertips, inhaling here nice and long. Exhale, we're going to bring the left hand towards the right knee. That might just be as far as you go, and you can stay there. We'll inhale, lift and open. We'll exhale, left hand to right knee. If you have some more range of motion to explore in your upper back and neck, you could invite your chin towards your chest. Maybe your gaze is even back towards the space between under your right arm. Inhale to open. Exhale, folding here. This is a modified twist and fold. So moving at your own pace. I like to call this the clamshell. The clamshell is opening here, and then exhale, chin drops. Gaze looks back under that right arm. All the air is released from the lungs. Two more times. Inhale to open, feeling the heart open and receiving here. And then balance that with taking time to go inward. Last time, inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Let's come back to center here, pausing between sides, letting some time to have the pose integrate, and just checking in here. Noticing if you may have felt any discomfort in anything we've done so far. Noticing whether or not the brain feels like you need to push through discomfort, or if you're figuring out ways to modify and to adapt to make these movements work for your body. Just noticing without judgment here, and then noticing if you need to make some different choices as we move to the next side. So we'll bring the left hand towards the seat of the chair, or the arm or leg of the chair here. Inhale, this time the right arm lifts. Notice right away any differences between the right and left side. Maybe you can lift your right arm a little higher than the left. Maybe it would feel good to have it just about shoulder's length. And then notice, can I invite that right arm a little bit behind me? In doing so, we're opening this part of the pectoral muscle near the chest and the shoulder. Gaze looks over at those right fingers, And then exhale, right hand comes towards the left knee as we fold forward here. All the air releases as chin comes to chest and gaze moves under the left arm. Inhale, core is involved as we lift and twist to the right. Exhale, clamshell closes, chin to chest. Think about what's happening in that right shoulder blade. The right shoulder blade is moving far off of the back of the body here. Inhale to lift and open. Notice if you need to modify. A modified version of this movement might simply be right hand to left knee. Maybe your gaze looks off to the left. And inhale might just be a lift of the arm gently out to the right. And then back into a gentle twist. Or your range of motion might be bigger and wider, a little more of a twist, and a little more of a fold. There's one is not better than the other. The best thing is that you're showing up and bringing movement in for your body. And then we'll come back to center here, hands on the thighs. Let's roll the shoulders out in both directions. And we'll move into a seated twist here. Inhaling, both arms lift and gaze lifts. We'll twist first to the right. So exhaling, twisting to the right. Right hand might find the seat of the chair or the back of the chair. Wherever you are, making good contact with that right hand. Left hand can be on the outside of the right leg. I like to push into the seat of the chair with my right fingertips. Inhale for length. Exhale, gaze looks over towards the right. Torso moves towards the right. Can you soften the twist here so that the internal organs get to experience the benefits of this twist? And then we'll inhale, both arms lift, gaze lifts. Exhale, twisting towards the left. Maybe pushing into the left fingertips as the right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twisting in the torso. Gaze might look off to the left. And then soften the effort here. Hold the structure, soften the effort, and let the benefits of the twist work into the internal organs here, helping to release toxins and stuck energy. Inhale, let the arm slowly lift, gaze lifts, hands come together, and then lower to heart center. Pausing here, and then releasing the hands to the thighs. Let's move into a forward fold here, where we can widen the feet about mat's width distance, and let's move a block between the feet, just about at in front of our toes, that if you're to draw a line from the tops of your toes, and try to have that 45-degree angle here from your lower leg to your upper leg, so that your leg is not too far in front or feet coming back towards the chair too much, just about a 45-degree angle. So inhaling here, let's lift the chin, lift the gaze, lift the arms. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward. You might bring your hands to that block. If that's a little too far for you, you could start with your forearms on your thighs here, coming to a flat back wherever you are. So it might feel nice to have two blocks here under your hands. You could come up on fingertips if you wanted a little more room. So inhale for a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. You might want to walk your blocks out a little bit for this forward fold. Let your weight really rest into your hands on the blocks or into your elbows on your forearms. Wherever you are, let your head release. You might shake the head no to release the neck, nod the head yes. And then inhale, just the head lifts. And then exhale, lowering a little lower into your forward bend. If you have the room to lower your blocks to the medium height, you might do that. Really let your upper back release here. Let your head release. Anytime you inhale, you might just lift your head, find that straight back, and then exhale, find yourself a little more deeply into the pose. You could move the blocks off to the side if your hands are coming towards the floor. Wherever you are now, if it feels safe, and you have to decide about what's going on in your low back. If it feels safe in your low back, your core is slightly engaged here, you might wiggle one shoulder forward and then the other, feeling this stretch under the shoulder blades into the back side of the ribs. Notice if you're holding your head up here, can you let the head release? There's no wrong way to do this. We're just adding organic movement to a forward fold, similar to a rag doll, as we often do in a standing posture. Just taking care of any twinging in the low back, if that's the case, coming up high, or maybe being on elbows on the thighs, you could still drop one shoulder and then the other here. And then taking your time here, as we often do in a standing pose, finding your forearms on your thighs. Let your head be the very last to lift as you come back towards seated. Letting your eyes stay closed here, feeling the vertebrae stacking one upon the other. Feeling this nice, tall, straight spine. That forward fold can release a lot of tension in the back and the low back. Take the time here to let your cells and your fascia realign after this release, forward fold posture. Let's take a few cleansing breaths here. We'll inhale our arms with a big upward movement. So we'll inhale, another sip of inhale right at the top. Exhale the arms with a sigh. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, inhale again. Your sigh can be as dramatic as you'd like. Last time. That breath is known as the physiological sigh. Physiological sigh, it has been researched and shown to have great benefits in calming the nervous system and lowering blood pressure. It's usually done without the arms. Just inhale, another sip of inhale at the top, and the big exhale through the mouth. So a good one to remember throughout the day. So we're working our way towards the end of this class. I'd like to invite you into a back bend here. And the back bend can take a variety of forms. You might find your hands on the seat of your chair. I'm going to slide over so you can see. So holding the bottom of the chair if you're in a folding chair, or the back of the arms of the chair. Or if you have the ability to clasp your hands behind your back, if that's something that's in your practice, Finding your hands clasped but behind your back. You might have to sit sideways on your chair to do that. We'll find our way into a back bend. So coming to sit on the edge of your chair again. Core is engaged, low belly pulls towards the spine, lower ribs are tucked in, so we're not jutting out here. Finding your hand position. Let's inhale and just invite the shoulders to come back on the back. So the shoulder blades are moving towards one another without over gripping. Core is engaged here. Right away, notice anywhere you might be able to soften, right? Sometimes with these poses, we really push our shoulder blades together. Can you invite a little softening here? And then inhale, gaze lifts, chest and heart open here. Be mindful of those ribs. Can you keep the ribs in alignment? Core is engaged. You might be able to lean into this pose using your arms for balance here. Notice if this puts strain on your neck, you could always look at the floor or look out at the horizon. And then exhale, let's release, bringing the arms to cross in front of the body, giving yourself a hug. Chin comes to chest, core engages here as we roll forward. And then we'll inhale, arms move apart, finding your back bend once again. Hands find their hand position, core is engaged here. Ribs stay in alignment. Inhale, gaze lifts, shoulder blades move towards each other, heart opens here. Letting your gifts of your heart be shared with the world and letting in any nurturing or guidance you could use. And then exhale, opposite arm crosses over, hands reach for the shoulders, core engages here as we tip forward, chin towards chest, position of humility. And then we'll inhale back to center. Moving into our relaxation at this point. So you can choose a variety of positions. You could come to the floor with a pillow under your knees in a traditional Shavasana pose. You might lie on the floor with your legs up the wall, or on the floor with your legs at a 90-degree angle over a chair, or stay in your chair for meditation. If you are staying in your chair, I would invite you to move a pillow in back of you to support your back without just fully slouching. That could happen at any point during this class as well. You might, if it's too much to sit on the edge of your chair, you could do that. Lean back into a pillow. Wherever you are, we'll take just a few moments here to close, and you're welcome to pause the video or turn off the video and stay in your Shavasana. Wherever you are, just bringing your attention back to your breath. Noticing if the state of your thinking mind feels any different from the start of this class, the quality of thoughts, the rapidity of thoughts. Noticing the quality of your heart, any emotions that may have come up during this practice or been released. Noticing if you're feeling any more spaciousness in your heart area. Checking in with your physical body, any shifts that may have happened during this class. Noticing if you were listening in for when you may have been pushing a little bit too far. Were you able to adjust without judgment? And then just checking in with the fact that you made time for this class in your day. You showed up when you could have chosen hundreds of different things. You showed up and made time for this yoga class this day. Letting your awareness rest with light attention on the rise and fall of your breath. Imagining that both your inhale and your exhale can expand beyond your physical body into the space just beyond your body, into your energy field. Staying where you are as we bring this class to a close, you may like to bring one hand to your heart, bowing your chin towards your chest, taking a moment to feel your heartbeat, the warmth of your heart, picturing a light here at your heart center, symbolizing your true nature, your deep wisdom. And the bright light within me bows to the bright light within each of you. Namaste, friends, and thank you so much for your practice this evening.